Hi, I'm Krista Griffith. I'm state representative for the 12th District of Delaware, and I'm here today with Maida Barrios and Trenny Parker. We're here to talk about a really important bill that will be filed this week in the House of Representatives that will help youth in foster care achieve their dreams. This bill will provide tuition coverage for students in Delaware who have been in foster care in their teenage years, either at Delaware State University, the University of Delaware, or Del Tech. Not only will it provide the tuition that these students need to learn and obtain their degree in whatever it is that they wish to, but it also provides housing and room and board and all of those essentials that really help students succeed in life. So I'm so excited to be the sponsor of this legislation and file it this week in the House. So welcome, Maida. Maida is a rising senior at Delaware State University, where she studies social work. And hello to Trenny Parker, who is director of the Division of Family Services and a champion of this legislation. So if I could just start, Maida, with you, can you tell us why is this important? Tell us why students who are in foster care may not be able to succeed without this type of legislation.
Thank you for that. This bill is just beyond what words can explain. Honestly, it's so important. I know a lot of foster youth tend to deal with these financial burdens that are placed upon us when we're trying to go to college. I know me personally, I just dealt with it about 2 weeks ago. And like you said, I'm going into my senior year and I'm still dealing with that financial stress that was placed on me simply because I was in care. I don't have like that family support that I can go to that'll pay those payment plans that, they set up for students and things like that. So just a couple of weeks ago, I had found out that I needed to take summer courses in order to stay on time to graduate. And of course, I do want to graduate on time. I don't want to be delayed in that just because it can delay my other plans for my career. And so I was put in a predicament where I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to take these summer classes simply because I didn't have any money for it, right? The scholarships that I did get along the way didn't cover for the summer classes. They only covered for fall and spring of just all 4 years, nothing extra. And so I was really struggling. I was talking to my independent living worker, just pretty much expressing how I'm worried, I'm stressed. I don't know if I should take these classes and then later be struggling with the financial burden and things like that. And about 2 weeks after this discussion and after I ended up still registering for my classes, just simply because of the deadline, I did get a notice from One Simple Wish that I was granted a scholarship to cover my summer classes. So that really alleviated that stress that I did have on myself. And not only that, but it's like I know a lot of foster youth don't have that. They don't have those resources for them to be able to apply for scholarships. They don't have the support to submit really good, well-written essays for the scholarships and things like that. Like it's not only about submitting the essay or submitting the scholarship and essays, but it's also about putting well thought into it and having that help behind you. And I had that. And I know for other youth that don't have that, I know this is going to be like the game changer because we get lots of no's. We also get yeses. I had plenty of no's for scholarships before I got the yeses. And so it's a tough journey to be on headed to college, and it really takes away that hope from foster youth that want to attend college simply because they don't have that financial support to continue.
Yeah, no, that's tremendous. I'm so happy that you were able to get that scholarship to assist with these summer courses. I mean, I think for a lot of students looking for scholarships for college can be almost a full-time job. You have to know where to look for them, how to apply to them, the deadlines, etc. For any student, that's a challenge, let alone someone who might be in foster care who has all sorts of pressures on them from their family situation to maybe their foster family situation to school, etc. So I commend you for being able, Maida, to be able to find all of that for yourself, to advocate for yourself and get to where you are, which is almost to completion of your social work degree, which is huge. But not everybody is as, it knows how to navigate the system like you. And so I do think that this legislation will really help them. Trenny, what do you think of this bill? Why is it important after your years at the Division of Family Services? What have you seen with young adults and barriers to obtaining higher education, and how will this help them?
One of the things that we really hope will happen with the passing of this legislation is changing the narrative for how our youth exit foster care. So one of the things that everyone is probably aware of is there has been a lot of attention about what happens with youth when they leave the system. We want to change that narrative and not have youth viewed in that way. So one of the things that we hope will happen with this legislation is that youth will have the opportunity to pursue higher education. They will also not have the barriers that some other youth have had, particularly youth who are exiting foster care. So one of the things that's experienced by youth who are leaving foster care, and honestly, a lot of young adults across this country, are concerns with housing insecurity and food insecurity. This bill will remove those barriers from our youth. It will allow them to focus on obtaining their degree and not worrying about some of those other issues, Representative Griffith, that you highlighted, that can also, create anxiety and make it harder to be successful, when you're pursuing degrees. So by changing this narrative, we will have the opportunity to have our youth, who are often referred to as foster children, which is a phrase that I don't like being used at all. It will allow them to just be young adults who are individuals who have experienced foster care, but are on a path to achieving their dreams. We have been very fortunate in this state to have a wonderful partnership with Del State and with the Delaware State Housing Authority, and passing this legislation will simply expand that and allow our youth the opportunities to attend other institutions and to be successful, and to have the opportunity to start their lives without having student loan debt, which is really, really a tough thing to have when you're starting out. So having the support of this legislation could be an absolute game changer for our youth when they exit foster care.
That is such an important point, to have legislation that it can be game changer. You mentioned some of those stresses, and what I really like about this legislation, and it provides housing 12 months a year, because you don't, if you have a stable home environment and you're not in foster care, chances are that when January break comes along and the holiday breaks come along or summer breaks come along, you have a home to go to, a family to go to. But for students who have been in foster care, that may not be the case. And so it's really important to remove that stress that might get in the way of that student just being a college kid and being able to study for their exams and meet friends and be happy. Same with what you mentioned with food insecurity, not knowing where that next meal will come from. That's we want our students to be healthy and to be rested, so that they can really focus on their education and really focus on obtaining their dreams. And it's my hope that this legislation will do just that.